Hello everyone, Isaac Sagunro here. This is a continuation of our last Power Apps, Power Automate video. If you remember, in our last video we created a workflow and we used the trigger when an item is created. So when a user uploads a request, a notification gets sent to the manager, and also a notification gets sent to the user who submitted the request, letting them know that their request is in review, and letting the manager know that they need to review this request so that they can approve or reject the request. So that was one trigger. I'm using another trigger, and in this trigger I am just using when an item or file is modified. There's a trigger to do modified and created all in one workflow, but I didn't want to do that because when an item is modified, it just goes into an infinite loop and there really isn't any way to kind of check. I mean, there are, but the level of effort to put in to make that happen in that trigger was just too much. So we're going to use this trigger. So just to show you, we have your site address, your list name, we have a directory email. This is just a variable. All your variables will be at the beginning before the rest of your steps. I'm not going to show the email because I don't want to show the world my email address. So now we're going to use this step here. It's called get changes for an item or file. And after you put in the address and the list name, all you have to do is provide the ID. This ID just identifies that specific item or row in a list that we need to watch out for. And for this since and this until fields in this step, you really don't have to understand what that does. Just know that for the since, just provide a trigger window start token, and for the until, which is optional, provide the trigger window end token. And this is just, these two are just kind of helping you to check the last time something was modified, basically. But if you want to read, you can read more about it on the internet. I'm not going to go into too much details. So once you have that in place, now you can add a condition. So I added this condition, this step here. And if you remember, to add a condition, if you click on the steps, if you add an action, if you just type in condition, it'll appear. So let me delete that. So here is our condition. And in this condition, because we set up this third step here, it provides these variables here, not variables, but these properties, I guess you can call it. And what it is saying is, okay, it checks to see if a certain column was changed. So let me show you how that works. So I'm going to add a row. I can say, hey, you know what? I want to see when this workflow runs, just let me know if let's say the director approval, if this column has changed, then I want it to go forward to the next step. Now, in the previous, if you use the other trigger, if you changed any column, the workflow will trigger, and it'll go through the whole workflow. This one will just check if the manager approval column was changed. So if that is true, it returns a Boolean meaning true or false. So if it is true, then do this, yes. If not, then do these actions. So if it's true, yes, we're going to come down here and we're going to check if that, because even though it's true up here, it returns a Boolean. We don't know what was selected. We don't know if it was approved selected or if it was rejected selected. So if it is approved, we want to implement these actions here. If not, then implement this. So if it's approved, we're going to send an email to the director. Manager is approved. Please review and approve or reject. And there's the link. And then what we want to do as well is we want to go through and we want to update the list item. And we want to make sure that the request status is in progress and that it is no longer under the awaiting manager approval, but now it's awaiting director approval. And then we also provide the manager approval value. If it was not approved, meaning it was rejected, because that's the only other option, we come in here and we send an email to the created by email, meaning this is the person that created the request. And we say, hey, sorry, but your request was rejected, see manager reason, and then we add the reason to our list. So let's scroll back up to the top here. And so if there wasn't a change in that column, in that manager approval column, let's come over here to the no. And what we're going to do in this condition is, okay, we're going to check if the director approval column, something happened. That's why this workflow is running. So let's see if this has changed, if this director approval column is true. So if you remember, it returns a Boolean. If it is a yes, do this action, no, then do that. And we don't really have anything there. So let's open this up. We're going to check to see if it's approved. And if it's approved, we're going to go here. We're going to send an email back to the user saying, hey, request approved. Your request was approved. Enjoy the conference. And if no, sorry, but the director rejected your request. See explanation below, and we provide the explanation. So that's how simple this workflow is. Now, let's go run it and see how this works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the conference registration. So go to conference, and then let me just refresh the page. Okay. So now that it's refreshed, we're going to come in here. We're going to click new. And let's say it's a React conference. Let's say John Doe, jdoe@email.com. Okay. So we're going to click save. So what should happen now is an email notification should get sent to the manager. So let's go check the email. Let's check the email. Okay, so let's just refresh. All right, let's see if an email came in. No email yet. So let's go see where we are in the process. Let's go back to our workflow. And what we're gonna do is, let's see where, I don't think I changed anything, but let's go back. Let it save. Okay, so let me refresh the page. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the, I'm in the wrong workflow. So let me go back. If you remember, I created two separate workflows and I just heard the email come in. So let me bring this over. So here are my two emails. Here's this email saying, hey, John Doe, your request has been received and sent to your manager for review. You will be notified upon completion. And then here's the other email. Please review. I'm just going to copy this. I could have made it a link, but I'm just going to do this. Let's come in here, paste. And let's see. So now this is for the manager to review. Now the reason there should be a manager drop down box here. So let's go fix that. Well, not fix it, but the reason you're not seeing it is because I am not a manager. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna come in here, and then we're gonna go to this, and I talked about this in a different video. This is how you can control the access level. So here's the form access level, and I am just gonna come in here. I want to add myself as a manager, and then I'm gonna add my okay, so I've added myself. So now let's go back to that form. Let's refresh the page. Refresh. So now if I scroll down, there's the manager. So I'm a manager now. So let me come in here, edit all, and let's say it was approved. So let's save it. And now we just need to wait. So while we're waiting for that, let me go back to the workflow. And then 2 minutes ago, it ran. If I click on this, okay. Just gotta wait a few minutes. Okay, I just heard the email come in, so let me bring up the email. Okay, so there's the email. So manager has approved, please review or reject. So let me copy this link. In the real world, you don't want to make it, you want it to be an actual link, not a copy and paste. We'll go over that, how to do that in a different video. So let me come here. So now that I'm here, so we see the manager's approval. Okay, what about the director? The director is missing, so we need to add the director as well. So let's go back in. Let's add him to this access level. I can add myself twice if I wanted to, but I'm just going to come in here and change this to director. Exit. Okay. And then I'm going to come over here. Let's go back to the form. Let me just refresh the page. So there's the director. So now let me go edit all. And I'm going to approve, save. So let's just wait for the email to come in. Okay, and then here's the email just came in. So John Doe, your request has been approved. Enjoy the conference. And so the rejection part also works, but I'm not going to go through that. But this is how that workflow works. So I hope this made sense. Leave your comments below if you have any questions. Thanks for watching. Bye.